Tara o shana I Jakai Tokoshai Chashai. Coming in to rest Tokoshai. These highly infiltrated spirits, Tato Tono Kosha Chashai Chakaya Dai. The consciousness that has been highly infiltrated. Joriata Kai Chashai. As we come into rest through the body, that the body in many ways has served as the mouthpiece for the trauma and fear that has been withheld from within. This inability for energy to be seen or understood, the inability to shift energy out of consciousness, unless it somehow shows or has a tangible physical manifestation. So it's as if I'm looking at something energetically and knowing something is off, but unable to isolate it. So there's a sense that we need to almost download this into physical form in order to give it a backdrop upon which we can then see and separate this out. So the intelligence of human form, feeling this releasing, and this understanding through the base of the neck, the base of the head here, through the lymph. So coming into this space of deep awareness and deep reverence for the human form and all of the information that it provides us. As we enter through the consciousness of the feminine range, feeling the presence, feeling this sense of embodiment, this doorway or this arch here above the head at the base of the brain. So being present here within this range of consciousness feels there's a discomfort here with this, a sense of imperfect presence. A sense that this is familiar, that I know this placement, that I am the rightful heir, that I am supposed to be standing in this position, receiving through this, and yet a sense also of being uncomfortable with this. This uncomfortableness, likely due to past experiences of being connected through this consciousness, within this consciousness, and then being attacked or targeted because of it. Being seen because of it, being witnessed because of it, being witnessed in this consciousness as this consciousness. So just sifting and sorting through these layers of discomfort here to find our way through until this fits more comfortably, until we can settle into our own presence here within it. There's a feeling here of needing to absorb this fully, to acclimate. This is the acclimation I'm hearing of the globe, but it actually feels to be as if we are in the center of what might be called the earth energy, And yet it's not the actual physical earth. It's not the energy that makes that up. It's this specific consciousness. And yet I see that the way it works is as if we stand in the center of it, the center of our world, let's say, and everything connects to it and through the body. And it does have this sort of globe effect. And what it feels like is that it creates a sentient experience. And also I'm getting a very strong feeling of this being a protective globe. It does seem to be a method of protection, almost like a force field. It creates this sphere around the body, again, this embodiment, meaning this energy around and within the body, that is at the center of this sphere. And I see all of the energy from the body reaching out to this globe, and also the globe, this energy that creates or makes up this sphere external to the body, reaching back to the body as well. So this exchange, and yet this entanglement. So we also see the opposite side of this, where we see the bitterness at having to experience this distorted or cursed experience of having a body that is connected through, again, this sense of through and within. It goes right through the body. It's within the cellular matrix. So that as we feel, as we absorb energy, as we bump into energy within this realm, this sphere or this globe allows for this space of processing. It's like a system. So it first enters through this force field, this magnetic force field, but that is where it starts to get processed by your energy and doesn't necessarily infiltrate into the physical embodiment yet. So it gives space to be able to work with the energy, but yet not be swallowed up by it or to be afflicted by it. So this sentient range of consciousness, where it almost feels like it had collapsed in on us. So that sort of feeling of sticky webbiness, this enmeshment in the field. So let's look at this and let's start to clear any remaining tendrils of collapse, because we have been recently looking at this insertion of some sort of additional fourth point in the planar field, which caused a collapse, or this wormhole effect, being pulled down into this wormhole where everything really was flattened, let's say. So as we look at this through the gut, we expand and allowing for the clearing of any particles, fragments, residual tones of destruction. Feeling this through the base of the sternum into the gut here. Let's come into this energy center and feeling that clearing through the lymph. So a very powerful ignition here of this sacral flame. Being able to withstand one's own self, where it's almost as if the field was collapsing into memories of distortion and really couldn't even recognize itself. You had an inability, which was by design, but this inability to really withstand or be able to fully hold yourself here. So it's coming through as almost a rescue mission here, feeling this through the heart space, these energies rushing in here, these sacral tones. And it's not even a rescue mission where we are having to take things out or find things or some kind of discovery process. It's really coming in and reinflating this globe or this sphere due to the affliction energies. So looking at this, feeling this here through the base of the brain and in the gut, where the feminine consciousness was targeted by, I'm hearing it as lesser known forms or versions of evil. I was going to say lower feminine consciousness, but it came through very strong, and this was something starkly different from feminine consciousness. And I'm seeing almost like these arrows or implants here into the field with this, because it seems like when we are in the embodiment and we're trying to make sense of this energy of, well, it's coming through as disgust. So when we're trying to make sense of, it's not clear if we are feeling the disgust or if we are sensing disgust from another person. Yeah, disgust from something external to us. There's this process where we try to understand. We try to understand from this other person's perspective. So this level of compassion and empathy, and actually it's showing us here that that's completely unnecessary, in fact unwarranted. It's showing as being warfare consciousness. So it's not at all even related to what we know as feminine consciousness, although it mimics as that, which causes us to sort of try to compare and question and understand what's going on with this. But it's actually a completely different type of energy here. It's an alter tone. So this rage and this disgust in the sacral. And again, it's where we try to understand, try to make sense of those places where we can't make sense of things. It's almost that in doing that, we start to absorb some of this, we'll just call it this afflicted energy. Oh, interesting. So it's almost as if there are other beings or other humans, let's say, that are afflicted with this external consciousness, or their consciousness has been affected by this, let's say, warfare tone, and we're trying to understand it because we think it's part of the whole of who they are, or there's something there that we need to understand in order to understand why they are doing or saying or being the way that they are. And it's coming through so strongly that no, we do not allow for the compassion or the understanding of this, because to do so is to almost allow this in or absorb it, or to take some of it in and accept it in a way. So where we have been unable to draw this line or draw this boundary within ourselves, it's really within the gut, to have a sense of this clear boundary, this clear knowing that, oh no, this energy has this strange tone in it, this strange feeling to it. So no more mixing with this, no more intermixing with this energy. These afflicted energy tones. And really affliction being anywhere where we are confused or questioning, because if that's happening, we are not in our alignment. So it's almost as if walk away, figure out how to reset, figure out how to be clear, find your clarity, and then come back and revisit, because it's almost as if we are already in the mix of these energies and then we're trying to make sense of it, understand it, but therefore that means we are already absorbed into it. Okay, I just felt this explosion. So there was some sort of cataclysmic event which caused this fracturing, and then it's like shrapnel in the field. This fragmentation. So it's not even that, let's say, the soul or the energy field itself fragments. It's that there's something inserted that blocks clarity, that blocks flow, and pure connectivity of source tone. So just starting to settle the field here, because there's a lot of anxiety that was coming up as we were looking at all of this. This awareness. It is a nervous system disruptor. We see this actually through the root chakra, the base of the root chakra, and it's that experience where your nervous system starts to go into fight or flight, but really this sort of like revving up. It's like spinning this wheel. Okay, feeling that through the left side of the gut here. So, and this also being related to, there's a feeling of other energies reaching out to you, reaching out to your field. And almost where it does feel like there is this space, there's this force field, and it comes through as being like, as if my field is being pinged. And this is the issue, because once we feel the ping, it's like we open the door to look outside, and it's almost like in doing that, we're allowing these energies in. So where is this curiosity coming in here? So this, I've seen it several times and I haven't said it out loud, but this affliction tone really is some sort of witchcraft. So, okay. This feeling of being continuously disturbed, always keeping you just on edge enough, just outside the range of calm. So coming back into center through the brain, through the mind here, and finding this center of peace. And there's a sense here of collapsing in on the self, but this is a healthy turning inward through the mind here. This sentient membrane, but it's almost as if I feel myself going into deep meditation, the ability to sort of close the curtains of the mind, and move into this pure source state. So we can see where this was really hijacked and used in a negative way. This collapsing inward, and closing out or shutting out interference tones, interference ranges. But where something happened then, it was made to feel very alone, like a very stark contrast. So a lot of electric warfare. A lot of memories of explosions, things being wiped out, memories being wiped, the despair, the panic, the insufferable rage. So interesting, where the rage was so extreme, it was unbearable, which ultimately ended up collapsing the fields. So wearing this grief now, feeling the grief, allowing yourself to be able to bathe in this grief, to process it now, rather than exploding through the rage, collapsing into nothingness, feeling this clearing through the ears and arcing through the heart space, the center of the field, feeling this beginning to awaken through the limbs, through the arms here, into the hands, and shifting from this perception that I am waiting to experience or wanting to experience the light, these treasures through my body, and moving into this conception of the mind, that yes, allowing it through you, but more than that, knowing its presence within you, knowing your truth, knowing as your embodiment. So overall, we can feel this through the mind. This really is actually, in the simplest terms, anywhere there has been confusion, questioning, inability to understand, that is all because of distortion and damage that was sustained in the field through this affliction tone. Anywhere you don't feel clear, anytime you aren't clear, it's step outside of yourself, release, find your way back to feeling present in yourself, and then wait, allow the clarity to flow up. It's not, how do I find the answer? How do I get clear on this? It's step away, step outside of that. Find a way to ground yourself, and then return through clarity of mind. This flowering of presence through the palms, through the base of the spine, continuing to allow, continuing to support, continuing to sustain this ignition through the field. And so it is.